Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday. It is the 6th day of June, 2022. Happy Monday. I hope you had a very safe, very healthy, fun-filled, enjoyable, restful, whatever you had weekend. And now we start the new work week again. So I hope that you and your family's needs in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field every weekend, every day, and those who are the first responders every day, especially in these days where you're seeing all of these shootings and all of these incidents happening on a daily basis around the nation and around the world. The first responders and the people that are working in emergency rooms and the people that are in hospitals and the people that are caring for elderly become more and more important. Blessings upon them. Blessings upon those also that pick up garbage in this pollution-filled world, to keep streets and sidewalks and highways and parks as clean as possible. And those that make deliveries, the humble work of our convenience. Double blessings, though, on the men and women trying to help deliver, recover, rescue the victims of child molestation happening on a daily basis in every state and every county in the United States. Blessings upon the people trying to rescue the children who are victims of child molestation and pedophilia, and those also who are victims of pornography and child pornography, victims of prostitution and child prostitution, human trafficking and sex slavery, and double curses upon the perpetrators, the profiteers, and those perverts who are out here trafficking and inflicting misery. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. And it's getting worse. 600,000, almost 600,000 men, women, and unfortunately children on the streets of the United States of America, millions around the world in similar and worse conditions, and blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. So, in the NBA Finals, first off, let me just say, I'm picking the Celtics in 6. I'm learning. I've seen, here's the thing, brethren. Let me just back up for a minute. Let me tell y'all something, man. First off, as you get older, there's a lot of things that happen. There's really nothing new. There might be new technologies, but situations, circumstances, people, there's nothing new. You've seen it. You start to say you've seen it all before. And then, people get hyped on certain things that are not, when you get older like me, when you're like 60, it's not worth getting hyped about because you've seen it before. It's not new. Doesn't mean anything. Then there's some things that even though you've seen before, are meaningful. And so you like, for example, if the Knicks were to get the number 1 pick, well, that's happened before, but that would be meaningful, right? So there are things though that people get hyped about, especially today. People throw out, all these headlines and they use names like the Knicks to try to get clicks or whatever. And, I can't get excited about that. I'm about the real situation on the ground level with the Knicks, the raw situation with the Knicks, so what's going on, what's happening, how can our team become a winning long-term franchise, right? And having seen many franchises over my 61 years on the planet, having seen many franchises run properly, having seen teams rise from ashes and become champions, you start to understand that there's a pattern to it, right? There's a pattern to it. And so even though, I'm very critical of, say, Tom Thibodeau, he's the best coach the Knicks have had since Mike Woodson. He's the best coach the Knicks have had since Mike Woodson. And the dysfunctional organization that was the Knicks that fired Mike Woodson, I feel like they've turned that corner. The owner, as much as people like to hate, and it's the thing, people like to continue hate for clicks. But James Dolan has changed. He's backed off. And he put the organization in the hands of Leon Rose. Is Leon Rose perfect? No, but there ain't no perfect president of basketball operations. And New York is the hardest place to do that position. Okay? But some of y'all don't understand that because you ain't been around long enough to understand that. And you're getting hyped over a couple of things here and there. Anyway, long term, I feel like we're in pretty good shape, as an organization with Leon, Walt Perrin, all of those cats know what they're doing. Okay. And so, yeah, they're going to make more good moves than bad moves overall. Everybody makes mistakes. You make mistake on your job too. If you say you don't, you lying. Okay. So everybody makes mistakes, But they're going to make more good moves than bad moves. They're going to move us overall in the right direction. That's the key thing here. They're going to move us in the right direction. The ship is not rudderless. Don't listen to the media. Don't get all hyped on this stupidness that they put out just for clicks. Don't do it, Knicks Nation. But I like Celtics in 6. The reason I like the Celtics in 6 is one of the things that we've seen for many, 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 many years, and we're seeing here. It's not always the better team talent-wise. It's the team that's better in June. That's the key thing here. It's the team that's better at the time that you need to be better. Now, there are some great teams like Golden State, right, that have won multiple championships. But see, some of y'all don't remember, there was a time before Stephen Curry was drafted that Golden State was the laughing stock of the league. You know, Mitch Richmond was gone. Chris Mullin had retired. You know, they had moved on from several players, and they were the laughing stock of the league. They draft Steph Curry, and they hire Mark Jackson, and things begin to change. Okay, till you get what you got now. When Mark Jackson was let go after winning plus 50 games that year, you know, they had Klay Thompson, they had Steph Curry, they had Draymond Green. They were already now 50-plus win team that hadn't been nowhere for a minute, and now they were becoming what we see now. But the Boston Celtics, even though they lost last night, I'm taping this the day after they lost in Golden State. But you remember now, they split now. They split the series so far in San Francisco, right? So now they're going for 2 games in Boston. You know, I'm telling you right now, at this time, at this particular juncture, Celtics are a better team to me. Celtics are a better team. Now, I'm not saying overall, some of y'all gonna get it twisted because some of y'all do just like drama, whatever. But at this particular time, the way they're playing, I think they're a better team. I think they're a more consistent team. I think they'll win this series in 6. Okay, but that's just me. And I like, again, I've compared the Celtics to the Knicks in terms of the building of what you're seeing now as the Boston Celtics. In terms of that development, I'm seeing it with the Knicks. Okay, I'm seeing it with the Knicks. Now, over the weekend, I was in, as I mentioned to you, I was in Minneapolis. Thank you all so much. Some of y'all are really high quality human beings. Some of y'all in Knicks Nation, I got to give it to y'all. Really high quality human beings. Some of y'all were I just mentioned that I was in Minneapolis for my grandson's graduation, and y'all just giving me the happy, it's all good. I mean, some of y'all, there's a few of y'all, I have to be honest, there's a small percentage that are just hemorrhoids. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's a small percentage of y'all that are just straight hemorrhoids. Your life is miserable, and you bring it out in your comments. But most of y'all are really high-level human beings. I'm very fortunate. I started this channel for fun. And I'm having fun. Some of y'all make it easy. Make it real easy, And then some of your comments are very analytical. Very nice. Very analytical. Very, some of y'all are very high-level human beings, very intelligent human beings. And I'm thankful to be involved with this channel with y'all. So thank you very much. But that being said, over the weekend when I was in Minneapolis, there was rumors now that, no rumor, Quin Snyder stepped down as the head coach of the Utah Jazz. And that now there's an opening there. Okay. And immediately, and I knew it was coming, immediately, Johnny Bryant's name is being bantered about, Now, this is the thing. In pro basketball, sometimes it is the coach's fault, that a team is good or bad. Sometimes it really is. You can get a coach that knows what he's doing. You can get a coach that don't know what he's doing. And that shows in the product, right? And sometimes, but usually it's not just the coach. Usually it's a combination of the front office and the coach. The front office who gets the players, the front office who scouts the players, the front office that works with the coach, hopefully to get the team together. Sometimes it's a combination of things. Quin Snyder is a really, really good coach, man. And to me, it's an unfortunate situation where they being the organization of the Utah Jazz, were expecting to get over the hump with the team that they had. They have a really good team, and they couldn't get there. Listen, it's not easy to win an NBA championship. It's one of the most difficult things in sports to do. You got 30 teams with the best 400 players in planet Earth trying to get that wing, man. They all trying to do it. It's not easy. Okay, some of y'all judge a coach based on whether he won the championship in the NBA. That's stupid. There's a lot of great coaches that have never won NBA championship, like Jerry Sloan. Jerry Sloan, Utah Jazz, used to play for Chicago Bulls. Great coach. Never won an NBA championship. That happens. Most people don't win championships. Only one team could win every year. Okay? And some of y'all are dumb enough to think we got to win a championship to be a good coach. No. Y'all don't know basketball if you're saying that. You don't know. You don't know nothing, especially the NBA. Y'all have no idea what you're talking about. Okay? Great coaches that's never won championships. So sometimes, and it's a combination. You got to be at the right coach with the right team at the right time. Larry Brown, he was winning every place he went, man. Larry Brown was coaching at UCLA. They went to the Final Four. Larry Brown was coaching in Kansas. They won a championship. He was coaching the NBA. His all-time, every time he coached a team, they was always above 500, Larry Brown. Come to the Knicks and everything gets destroyed. And he just happened to win the championship being in Detroit at that time with the right crew, with his style of coaching, with Chauncey Billups ready to go to the next level. And they won the championship. Okay? It's a lot in it. It's a lot in it. But usually it's a right organization with the right players in the right time and the right coach. All that's got to come together. Okay? So, with the Knicks, Johnny Bryant's name is being bandied about. Of course, what you think? We hire Tom Thibodeau. And Leon did not put together Thibodeau's favorite staff. No, he didn't. He put together Johnny Bryant, Kenny Payne, Mike Woodson. Great coaches, man. Especially a Woodson and a Payne. Great assistant coaches. So you knew we weren't going to keep them. And this is the thing. Y'all got to understand a little bit about the patterns going on here. You see, brethren, let me explain this to y'all. Most of the time, when you see moves in the NBA and they get splashed on the headline, the organization in terms of the front office already knew these moves were coming. They already knew. Like a lot of times, sometimes even the coaches know, but even sometimes the coach doesn't know. The players definitely don't know unless it's among the players and it's being branded, chat. But usually the front offices know what's happening. So you think it's coincidental that they signed Rick Brunson, that they hired Siop in the G League, and then all of a sudden now Johnny Bryant's name is being rumored in Utah? You know it's been rumored for a couple of weeks now that Quin Snyder was thinking about something, maybe even a month that Quin Snyder was thinking about something stepping down. So back office is already preparing for these things. They don't just find out about it when you and me find about it and then react to it. That's fandom. That's not how front offices work. Okay, so it's not like they didn't know that it was a possibility that Kenny Payne might go to Louisville, that Mike Woodson might go to Indiana, or that Johnny Bryant might go to Utah or someplace else. And they prepared already. They got Rick Brunson coming in. Rick Brunson is a basketball lifer. Okay, he's been around a minute. Okay, so is Johnny Bryant. Okay, so they're already preparing for this. Don't let the headlines trip you. Like, oh, we're losing Johnny Bryant. We should have fired Tom Thibodeau last year. We wouldn't have lost him. Don't get stupid. Don't get elementary. Don't get sophomore. Come on, y'all. I can some of your young Knicks Nation might trip out on that, but some of your older know better. Come on, man. Stop. We good. We good. Okay? Don't worry about that. We good. And then, okay, Thibodeau is as frustrating to me as anybody. I mean, really. He was really bordering on straight stupid last season. And it was only because of Leon that he still has a job. And even though they exercised his 5-year option, they did. So he's guaranteed his money now. He's guaranteed his money. This will be his 3rd season. And he's going to get 2 more after this regardless. He's still on the hot seat, coming into this season. I mentioned to you how he could save his job. How he can save his job is working with the front office, with the younger players that we have, and development. Because if he loses trying to develop, he ain't going to lose his job. He's developing. But if he keeps demanding he trade all of our assets and trade all of our picks to go get a couple of 36-year-old veterans to develop, now we're going to have a problem. And this is where Leon comes in. Leon's got to temper Tom. Okay? And I got to believe he's doing that. Why do I believe that? Well, look at the roster. You got 8 players, 24 or under. That roster's, over the last 2 seasons been put together by Leon. Okay? Now, he inherited some young players, but he kept them and put together. Now, he added a few veterans, sprinkle here and there, but just look at it closely, y'all. Kemba Walker was never going to be here long term. He's only signed a 2-year deal. In fact, all of the veterans are on 2-year deals except Fournier. That's it. They were going to give a chance to see if Randle can be built around. He can't. He's not that guy. He's not a number one option. And that's why I don't understand why some of you are talking about, well, we can't give him away for nothing. We can't throw Randle away. Stop tripping, man. I don't care what his NBA 2K rating is. He's not a number one option. Don't treat him like that because he ain't that. If we can get the Kings or somebody to think he is, okay, send him. Okay, but he's not a number one option. He's really a number 3 option. Number 2 at best. That's when he's playing his best, when he got somebody that he respects that he ain't going to be done with. And him showing up in videos with muscles and all that, that don't mean nothing. Randle always in shape. He don't always try hard. See, what y'all need to understand, and let's be very clear here. For some of you that don't even watch the whole video, going to comment based on the daggone thumbnail. Look, it's not Randle's talent I have a problem with. The man is talented. He would not be in the NBA if he wasn't talented. He would never be named an all-star or all-NBA on any first, second, or third team if he wasn't talented. He got talent. We don't worry about that. But it's his head. It's his attitude. It's the position on the team. That's the problem. He has shown he cannot handle New York. He has shown he cannot handle being a number one option. He has shown he has all the talent in the world, but not all the basketball IQ. He has shown the ability to lose a game arguing and fighting with the refs and players. So it's not his talent we worried about. Do you know how many come on, man. Anyway. No. And so getting rid of him is addition by subtraction. Because of his attitude. It's not going to change. Why is it not going to change? Because as long as he is being looked upon as a number one option, it's going to remain. When he goes to another team, a Sacramento Kings, or a Detroit, or a Indiana, when he goes to one of them teams and he is not the number one option, he goes to the King. It's De'Aaron Fox. Is the number one. He goes to Portland. It's Dame Dollar, followed by Simons. Those are the number one, number 2 options. When he goes to these teams and realizes he's not the first or even the second in the pecking order, that's when it changes. But it's too late in New York. He's not going to change his attitude because he's here. It's embarrassing. You got to go. Okay? And I believe he is going to go. That brings me to the next point. So we might lose Johnny Bryant. Okay, whatever. Okay, we got, Rick coming in. We got Zion in the G League. Okay, we can get assistant coach. In fact, I hate to lose Johnny Bryant. If we were going to fire Tom Thibodeau, I wouldn't mind Johnny Bryant being the head coach. But look, there's a lot of coaches out here. Kenny Atkinson is assistant in Golden State. Mark Jackson is still at the telecast booth and he's available. Now you got Quin Snyder at least temporarily available. Jay Borrego's available. There's coaches out here. We're in an era, fortunately, of really good NBA coaches. Really good coaches around here available. So don't worry about coaching, man. We're going to find them. Terry Stotts. Terry Stotts is another good coach. Okay, in a small market in Portland, he did business over there. And they let him go. I mean, whatever. But he's another really good coach. Defensive coach. Really good coach. Okay. But now, so we can get coaches. But now Johnny Bryant might be on his way out. He might stay. But eventually somebody's going to entice him. He's going to get a better gig. If he don't get this one, he'll get a better gig. He's the associate head coach in New York. He's going to get a better gig. Whatever. That's going to happen, man. Okay, don't get trippy about that stuff, man. Don't get trippy about that. Tom Thibodeau, to me, as much as there's things about him I hate, his stubbornness, his reliance on the veterans, I hate it. And the hypocrisy of saying you got to earn stuff when he's handing stuff to vets that ain't earned crap. And then being Randle's enabler. Can't stand that. But you put him in a corner and you say, listen, this is your team. It's going to be young guys. You're starting Obi Toppin. Okay? You got your point guards from here. Choose one. You wanted these guys. Choose them. And play with these young guys. You're going to see, I told y'all, this is about 6 months ago, I told y'all, you're going to see his best coaching. We don't have these security blankets like the Julius Randle to enable. and he's got to rely on a guy like an Obi or Mitchell Robinson, who he loves, or RJ, and then Grimes, you're gonna see some really good coaching from him. Now, strategic wise, okay, maybe not, but effort wise, which is what the Knicks have been missing for many, 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 many years, a consistent effort by all 5 guys in the starting unit plus your bench, mob deep, consistent effort on both sides of the ball. That's what you're gonna get. That's what we want. New York loves that. You know, if you've been around for a minute, you love that. And the signature is defense. It was defense when Raw Frazier and them was playing. It was defense when Pat Riley was coaching. It was defense when Jeff Van Gundy was here and we went to the finals in 99. It was defense. Okay? And it's got to come back to that. That's New York Knicks basketball, y'all. Defense. And this is what Tom going to bring. Okay? With all the frustrations, he ain't going nowhere. First of all, some of y'all still going, Tom Thibodeau got to go. Well, he ain't going nowhere. So stop whining. He ain't going nowhere. They didn't already extended. They didn't already signed a 5-year deal. They didn't guarantee it. He's going to start 2022 as the New York Knicks head coach. Now, if they suck really bad and if he start being real stupid, oh yeah, he'd be going by the All-Star break. But let's let that happen first. I'm hoping, I want my Knicks to win. I want to see our team become the long-term sustainable winners. We got a solid front office. We got a coach that preaches defense. Let's go and see what we can do. Okay? Now, the Knicks are looking to move up in the draft. I told y'all, this is the year to do it. Some of y'all keep looking up all these whodunit, no-name, unknown dudes from Podunk State, been in college basketball at age 25, and they going to suddenly surprise people. Stop it. This is the league, man. Come on. So, this particular season, this ain't last season. Last draft, I told y'all it was gold nuggets from top to bottom. Just put your tray in the river, you're going to get gold nuggets. That's how that draft was last year. It's not like that this year. This year is more of a traditional draft that's heavy, mostly at the top of the draft. And you're going to find a couple of guys past 14 that's going to surprise you. But in the first round, okay? Some guy's going to drop and he's going to surprise, and then also, but most of the people that you see, like, for example, Patrick Baldwin, very highly touted. He's still going to probably get late first round because somebody's going to try to see if we can get something out of him, but he don't look good. Okay? Then you're going to get a guy like Okai Agbaji or Malachi Brown that's going to surprise people. If they don't get drafted in the lottery and they come out the lottery, somebody's getting a steal, right? But that's rare. Most of your talent this year is in your top 14. Okay? And so you want to get up in there as high as you can because that's where your talent is. And the Knicks have opportunity to do it. Why? Because we not only have Julius Randle as a trade chip. And yeah, we got him as a trade chip. We got the Dallas pick as a trade chip. We got some, so we got a ton of second rounders as trade chips. We got some trade chips that we can use to get up here. And you got Sacramento that's looking for a vet. You got Portland that's looking for a vet. Perfect opportunity to move up. I'm looking at these two teams. I mentioned also them two, and if you remember, I mentioned Detroit as a possibility as well as Indiana. These are all possibilities because Indiana is looking to rebuild to it. I'm wondering how they're going to do because they got Isaiah Jackson in the draft. And he's, they're 5 of the future, but they also got Miles Turner. They're trying to move on from Miles Turner. And some of y'all love to get Miles Turner. Again, it's one of those shiny objects on the other side of the road that y'all think is going to just bring us to the promised land. He ain't going to do that. I'm not saying he ain't good, but he ain't going to do that. And I'm trying to tell y'all, he ain't no better than Mitchell Robinson. I'm trying to tell you. Except Mitchell Robinson going to cost much less. Okay? But some of y'all are going to still trip. Think you know what you're talking about. You don't. Mitchell Robinson is the guy. We got him. We drafted him. And you know what? While I'm on this, let me just say one more thing. Y'all want to get me real pissed off? Try to tell me how to run my channel. Somebody come in, stop talking about, we should draft and keep, stop talking about this. Don't tell me what the fuck. Don't tell me what I should be talking about. Go to somebody else's channel. And listen there. YouTube ain't paying me enough to deal with some of your hemorrhoids. I will cut you off from this channel. You will not be on here. Okay? Period. Tell me, don't ever come on my channel telling me what to put on my channel. It's my channel. That's for some of y'all. Most of y'all nicknames, like I said, really good people. But there's a few hemorrhoids in every place, right? Anyway, and ain't no preparation they can help some of them. But anyway, the Knicks looking to move up in this draft. You don't look to move up unless you're trading something. Listen to me carefully now. You're not just going to trade the 11th pick and think you're moving up. No. You got to have something the other team wants. Now, the Kings, let's see, why do I keep mentioning the Kings? Go back in the archives. Ian Begley, back in, I think, February, already told us the Kings inquired about Julius Randle. Some of y'all worried about the fit with Sabonis. I hear you. That's smart thinking. You're saying, well, Sabonis plays the 4. He also plays the 5. He's 6'11". You know he's 6'11", right? So he plays the 4 and the 5. He's a roughneck dude. He could play both. Okay? They already inquired about Julius Randle. It's not like they're just never interested in him. They are. Okay? Portland is more interested in Jeremy Grant, but there's the 90% possibility he ain't going there. So that leaves them, if they're looking for a veteran and they need a power forward, they should have, see, this they messed up. They got rid of Robert Covington. They should have kept him. But they messed up and traded him. So you need a vet power forward now. The most available vet power forward is Julius Randle. Aside from Miles Bridges over in Charlotte. But I kind of think Miles Bridges will probably stay in Charlotte because Charlotte won't pay him. Okay, but Julius Randle is the most available, eligible power forward in the NBA right now. That's eligible to be traded, that's available. There's a strong possibility between Portland and Kings. Now, the name that I keep seeing, and you probably seeing it too, is Jaden Ivey. The Knicks are apparently very high on Jaden Ivey. Listen, I went back and I looked at this game again between, it was back in earlier in the season between Wisconsin and Purdue. And I watched, some of y'all so tripping, some of y'all really high on Johnny Bryant. I can't say tripping. Everybody got their favorite player. Okay, some of y'all really love Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis. I watched the game very closely. I was looking at him. I was watching Jaden Ivey. And the thing, my first impression I still stick with is this. Now look, Johnny Davis would be a good pick at 11. I'm not gonna lie. But I like other guys better than him. Okay? I like Jaden Ivey better than him. I like Benedict Mathurin better than him. I like Jeremy Sohan better than him. I like Tyree Eason better than him. I like Malachi Branham better than him. I like Okai Agbaji better than him. There's guys I like better than him. I'm not saying he won't be a good NBA player or a good pick. What's the good thing I like about Johnny Davis? Johnny Davis plays with straight heart. I love the effort this kid gives. He really, and I know that's going to translate. The effort's going to translate. I also love the fact that he wants the ball in crunch time. He's not scared of the moment. He's not frightened of the big stage. I love that about him. To me, though, as far as basketball too, the IQ. I think he has one of the highest IQs in the draft. I do. He's a high IQ basketball player. Makes the right pass at the right time. I like that about Johnny Davis. Defensively, he's good. He's really good. And again, high IQ defensively. So what is it? Why do I like other players better than him? Two things stand out to me that says, okay, I like some of these other guys I want better than Johnny Davis. One, I am not sure he has the physical tools to score on the NBA level like he did at Wisconsin. I am not sure that he can do that because the players in the NBA are much more physical. They're much more aggressive. They're much more talented than he was dealing with. Even if he played in a big time program at Wisconsin, no doubt. But I'm concerned about that. I don't know if he has that pop. There's a pop that certain players have. Like if you watch a Benedict Mathurin, there's a pop, a spring, a power to his game that you just know that's going to translate, right? Because it's on an elite level. As much as Johnny Davis has defensive prowess, high IQ, a solid player, heart galore. I don't know if that pop is there to translate. That's just me. I'm just saying that's what I see. Okay, I'm just being honest with y'all. And I'm not going to down y'all for liking Johnny Davis. And I ain't going to whine if the Knicks get him. But I'm just saying that there's other players I like better in this particular draft. Okay? The second thing is his decision making is really good. Like I said, high IQ. But again, it comes down to the NBA speed. You have to make those decisions. It's a different speed. It's like back in the day, they had these records, right? And they would spin at different speeds. Some records were 33 revolutions per minute. Some were 45. And then you can play it at 78 real fast, right? So the high school game is 33 revolutions per minute. The college game is 45 revolutions per minute. But the NBA is 78. Okay? So you got to find out if a guy can go from 45 to 78. And I'm not sure if he can. I'm not saying he can't. Some of y'all don't get it twisted. I'm just saying I'm not sure he can. There's some guys, like I said, Benedict Mathurin, I am sure he can. I am sure he can. Okay, I'm 100% sure. No problem. I'm not sure about Johnny Davis doing that. That's my problem. That's the problem I'm having here. Okay? And then like a guy like a Dyson Daniels. I like Davis better than Daniels. Daniels is defensively solid. Decision making, solid. Can't shoot. And let me tell you something. He ain't going to shoot this year either. I know everybody saw him shooting in the workout and thought he could shoot. Believe me, a lot of guys do that. I've seen that before. He ain't going to shoot. I'm not saying eventually, maybe 2-3 years, he might be able to shoot. But no. You're going to be sorely disappointed in his shooting ability this coming season. Just tell him. Okay? Now, the Knicks are trying to get Ivy. Now, Ivy, in that same game, he didn't play so well. He didn't play as well as Davis did. But what I saw, there's the pop is there. The first step is not only translatable, it's elite. The first step that Ivy has. The thing that's different, people like to compare him to Ja Morant. No, he's not really because he has the haircut and he moves a little bit like Ja. But to me, he's Victor Oladipo. This dude is a solid 200. That's what I'm saying. He got an NBA body already. I mean, really, he does. And the ability, the talent, the speed, the power is there. Okay, it's there. And so that's what everybody sees. I think, really, some people just look at him as a point guard. You guys know. He could play the point, but maybe not in the NBA right away. It's a hard position to learn, y'all. But I could definitely see him matched up in the backcourt with IQ. I could see that. Or matched up in the backcourt with Deuce. I could see that. Then you got Grimes, too. That rotation's going to be tight. Some of you are saying, well, you forgetting about Cam. No, I'm not. I got to see where Cam is. I got to see where Cam, if training camp comes and Cam is still a Knick, then yeah, we're into Cam. Because I'm into Cam. But I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure if he's going to still be a Knick come training camp. Okay? If he is, fine. Now he's got to go through the season and not get hurt. Okay? But, so that's why Cam is my question mark. Talent-wise, again, we're not questioning Cam's talent. Some of y'all confuse it. When you get to the NBA, you got talent. You can play. But there's now other variables that come in. You got to look at those other variables. Okay? If you're on the NBA level, if you're in a roster on the NBA, you got a contract, you can play. You got talent. There's other variables. In the case of Cam, is injury history really the biggest one. Availability. Biggest one. So we got to see if he's still a Knick. Plus, Tom Thibodeau didn't want him. So we got to see if he's still a Knick. Remember, Tom Thibodeau don't make the decisions of personnel, but he definitely has influence. So we got to remember that. But as far as Grimes, I'm expecting him to trade Fournier. But Grimes, Deuce, IQ, and Ivy, that'd be pretty daggone good, man. I mean, and then if we still keep D Rose, I don't know what they're gonna do if they keep D Rose. That mentorship, that coming off the bench for 15 minutes, dynamo. It's gonna. We got some things we're gonna work on. We'll see what happens this year. That's good. So I can see them getting in Ivy, or Mathurin. Those two guys, if they can trade up and get one of them two, I've been saying it. I'm not gonna whine at either one of them cats because these guys are gonna be NBA players. Now, Ivy might take a little longer to me than Mathurin because he's playing, like I said, the point guard is a hard position to learn in the NBA. It's very difficult. Okay, it's very difficult to learn. So He's going to need a little bit more patience, but the talent is undeniable. The template is there for him to become a really, really good NBA player. So I'm very excited about this, that they're moving up. And again, I just want to make sure I understand. You don't think about moving up unless you're trading somebody. They ain't trading Obi. They ain't trading Obi. Leon drafted Obi. Not trading Obi. I know some of y'all love Randle, and he got his fans, and I ain't going to drip. I'm trying to tell you, your boy may not be long for New York. They trading somebody to move up, and the biggest chip they got is Randle. Okay? So, this is going to be interesting. Here, it's the 6th. We are 17 days away from draft night. Draft night's going to be very interesting. I've been trying to find out who the Knicks are working out. Like, I mean, they be talking about these no-name players. They bring up Jim Boeheim's sons and some cat that was supposed to be godson of Miles Tamby. That don't mean jack. I mean zero. That's just trying to get news for information. Just keep your attention. Ain't nothing happening yet. Did they bring in Jay Ivory yet? Did they bring in Mathurin? I want to see that. They brought in Sohan. I want to see these. This is what you talk about, okay? Never mind these no-name dudes from Podunk State or whatever that you never heard of before. All of a sudden, they got ties to New York. That's just trying to get your attention. This is the draft where you want to get into the top 14. If you can get 2 of them, get 2 of them. But 1 at least, okay? And we're going to get that, okay? So, this is what we're going to see. Y'all, stay tuned, okay? But the Johnny Bryant situation, don't trip on that, man. Okay, good for Johnny Bryant. I hope he does go to Utah and get the head coaching job. Good for him. We're going to be good, okay? We good, all right? So,